Novitas Solutions, a CMS contractor, welcomes you to the On-Demand Education Series. This on-demand tutorial is a general summary that explains certain aspects of the Medicare program, but it is not a legal document. The official Medicare program provisions are contained in the relevant laws, regulations, and rulings. The information enclosed was current at the time it was presented. Medicare policy changes frequently. Links to the source documents have been provided within the document for your reference. This presentation was prepared as a tool to assist providers and is not intended to grant rights or impose obligations. Throughout this module, you will see a citation number behind certain elements of information as shown in the example below. This citation number coincides with the transcript document positioned next to the Play Now icon you selected on the Training Videos Click and Play page on the Novitas Solutions website. The citation and associated hyperlink to the resource described in the module will be found on the transcript under footnotes for each slide. Novitas Solutions On-Demand Education Series presents Understanding the Medicare Remittance Advice Part A, Part 1. Remittance Advice Overview. The Medicare Remittance Advice. The Remittance Advice, or RA, is a notice of payment issued by Medicare Administrative Contractors, or MACs, as a companion to Medicare claim payments. The purpose of the Remittance Advice, or RA, is to explain the payments and any adjustments made during claim adjudication. The Remittance Advice, or RA, provides itemized claim processing information which includes, but is not limited to, reimbursement totals, deductible and coinsurance amounts, claim adjustments and denials, refund notifications, explanation of non-covered services, alerts for missing or incorrect data, or identification of claims withholding due to Medicare Secondary Payer or MSP or penalty situations. In this module, which is the first installment of a two-part series, we will discuss the basics and informational coding found on the Remittance Advice. Different types of remittance advices. Novitas sends remittance advices to providers using an electronic remittance advice, also known as an ERA, or a standard paper remittance, referred to as an SPR. The type of remittance advice you receive depends on whether you submit electronic or paper claims to Medicare. If you are an electronic biller, you are required to receive an electronic remittance advice. Although the information that the two formats provide is similar, the electronic remittance advice offers some data and administrative efficiencies not available in a standard paper remittance. For example, electronic remittance advices can be manipulated electronically through your software into a variety of report formats. Additional advantages to receiving the electronic remittance advice are further explored on the next slide. Advantages of the electronic remittance advice. The electronic remittance advice offers many benefits that are not available nor possible through a paper process. Receiving the electronic remittance advice naturally expedites communication, payment notification, and account reconciliation. In addition to saving paper and lowering operating costs, the electronic remittance advice affords the ability to search for claim information and export data to other applications. These advantages provide access to more detailed information that is available in a variety of formats through free Medicare-supported software. How to retrieve an electronic remittance advice. The electronic remittance advice can be retrieved using one of three methods. The first is through Novitasphere, which is Novitas's free internet portal. The second is through a secure file transfer protocol, which is a secure data connection that you establish with an approved network service vendor. The third and final option is through Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure Council for Affordable Quality Healthcare, Inc., Committee on Operating Rules for Information Exchange Compliant Connection for Electronic Data Interchange, which is a secure connection for sending the claim status request transaction and receiving the claim status response and/or electronic remittance advice. More information on retrieving the electronic remittance advice, including screenshots, is available by accessing the Novitas webpage, Electronic Remittance Advice, How to Retrieve an ERA. How to translate an electronic remittance advice. Once the electronic remittance advice file is retrieved from Novitas's telecommunications platform, the electronic remittance advice may be translated using software written by the vendor of your choice, created in-house, or by using free Medicare software. The two software options Medicare offers for Part A are PC Print and Ability PC Ace. Please visit the Novitas webpage, How to Translate an Electronic Remittance Advice, for additional information on these software options. Additionally, Novitas's Electronic Data Interchange Help Desk is available for assistance with accessing the electronic remittance advice by dialing the number associated with your jurisdiction. Electronic remittance advice tips and information. It is important to keep in mind that after the electronic remittance advice is issued, which is generally 14 days from the date an electronic claim is submitted, it is only available for 60 calendar days after initial publication. It is encouraged that you save the electronic remittance advice to a location on your system where you can easily locate it in the future if necessary. Another important tip is if you change a vendor or clearinghouse, be sure to continue to work with the outgoing service to verify all electronic remittance advice files are received by reconciling all accounts within 60 calendar days. Additional electronic remittance advice information can be found on the Novitas web pages, Electronic Remittance Advice, How to Enroll for ERA, and How to Interpret ERA Denials. Informational codes reported on the remittance advice. Information codes on the remittance advice. The remittance advice provides informational codes that explain reimbursement decisions, including the reasons for payments and adjustments of processed claims. The reported codes assist in determining how a claim processed and if additional action is necessary, such as advising whether or not a reimbursement decision is appealable. There are 3 sets of codes that may be used for any line or claim level adjustment. Claim Adjustment Group Codes, also known as Group Codes, Claim Adjustment Reason Codes, or CARCs, and Remittance Advice Remark Codes, also known as RARCs. In addition to these line or claim level code sets, the remittance advice also reports Provider Level Adjustment Reason Codes. The Provider Level Adjustment Reason Codes describe adjustments the Medicare Administrative Contractor, or MAC, makes at the provider level instead of a specific claim or service line. We will individually highlight each of these informational code sets over the next several slides, but please visit the Washington Publishing Company website for a complete listing of codes and definitions. Claim Adjustment Group Code. The Claim Adjustment Group Code identifies the general category of a payment adjustment and assigns financial liability for the unpaid portion of a claim balance, should one exist. Since the group code does not provide an explanation for payment determinations or assignment of financial liability, it is always used in conjunction with a Claim Adjustment Reason Code, which is discussed in a moment. The valid group codes that may appear on the Medicare Remittance Advice are CO, or Contractual Obligation, OA, or Other Adjustment, and/or PR, for Patient Responsibility. For example, the group code PR would identify claim-related amounts the patient is responsible for, such as their deductible and/or coinsurance. Claim Adjustment Reason Code. The Claim Adjustment Reason Code provides financial information about claim decisions, such as why a claim or service line paid differently than it was billed. If there is no adjustment to a claim or service line, then there is no need to use a claim adjustment reason code. The claim adjustment reason codes are located in the ADJ Reason Codes field on the Electronic Remittance Advice and the RC field on the Standard Paper Remittance. Claim Adjustment Reason Code Examples. This chart lists a few claim adjustment reason codes that you may see reported on the Remittance Advice. For example, CARC 1 will provide deductible information pertaining to the service. Remittance Advice Remark Code. The Remittance Advice Remark Code is used to further explain adjustments already described by the Claim Adjustment Reason Code and relay additional informational messages that Claim Adjustment Reason Codes cannot express. There are two types of Remittance Advice Remark Codes, supplemental and informational. The majority of the Remittance Advice Remark Codes are supplemental. These are generally referred to as Remittance Advice Remark Codes without further distinction. Supplemental Remittance Advice Remark Codes provide additional explanation for an adjustment already described by a Claim Adjustment Reason Code. The second type of Remittance Advice Remark Code is informational. These Remittance Advice Remark Codes are often referred to as alerts. Alerts are used to convey information about remittance processing and are never related to a specific adjustment or Claim Adjustment Reason Code. Remittance Advice Remark Code Examples. This chart lists a few Remittance Advice Remark Codes that you may see reported on the Remittance Advice. For example, RARC MA01 provides direction that the service is appealable if you disagree with the claim decision. However, RARC MA130 indicates that the claim decision is not appealable and provides alternative direction for next steps. Provider-level adjustment reason codes. Provider-level adjustment reason codes describe payment adjustments the Medicare administrative contractor made at the provider level that are not related to a specific claim or service line on the Remittance Advice. For example, adjustments described by the provider-level adjustment reason codes may include an increase in payment for interest due as a result of late payment of a claim by Medicare, a deduction from payment as a result of prior overpayment, an increase in payment for any provider incentive plan, forwarding balances for future overpayment recovery, refund acknowledgments and/or pass-through and settlement payments. Provider-level adjustment reason code examples. This chart lists some common provider-level adjustment reason codes that you may see reported on the Remittance Advice. For example, PLB-FB stands for forwarding balance. Thank you for attending. We encourage you to visit our website, www.novitas-solutions.com, to access additional resources and participate in our educational events. Visit our Education and Training page to access the most current Medicare education.